Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel as we continue talking about the horror movies of the 1980s and the year 1982. And today we're talking about Dario Argento's Tenebrae. First time watch for me, and I gotta say I really enjoyed it. I think it's up there. I really enjoy Bird with the Crystal Plumage is probably one of my top Argento Giallo films. Tenebrae might be up there too, along with that one. I know for a lot of people it's Deep Red. I mean, we're not gonna talk Suspiria because Suspiria is more of a supernatural film. But as far as like the giallo, genre goes, this one definitely gets right up there with Bird with the Crystal Plumage. I was left guessing a lot of this film, like who is the killer? I kept kind of going back and forth most of the time, and even with Argento's earlier films before this one. Sometimes it's the kill. It's a killer that it's somebody you haven't even seen before in the film that winds up being the killer. They just happen to pop up on the screen at the end. And you're like, oh, that's the killer. And this one doesn't really follow that formula because we do meet the killer in this film, at a certain point. And that I think was interesting because I haven't seen any Argento films like that. And the acting is actually pretty solid in this one. That's the one thing I have to say about most of Argento's films is that the acting, whether it be the actual Italian actors who are in the film or whether or not you're listening to it, through a dubbed version, the acting is always pretty solid for the most part. At least for me, I think this acting is pretty solid. And it also doesn't hurt with this film that Mr. John Saxon is in this film. Now, this film follows mystery author Peter Neal, and he is on his way to Italy, and I believe it's Rome. He's going to Rome, and he is going. It's basically kind of like to, get out there and show off his newest work of art, his newest novel that he just put out, named, of course, Tenebrae, and his publicist, played by one Mr. John Saxon. I was surprised. I thought the Saxon was going to be like the main guy in this movie, but no, it's not. But he's still, there's just something about John Saxon that when you see him on screen, it's like that Tom Atkins kind of feel. It's like, oh man, this guy's so freaking cool, right? And I like how there's different characters who are presented in this film that all give you reason to think like they could be the killer. We also have Daria Nicolodi is in this film, and I think as far as like Italian actresses go, she is like the Italian scream queen. Like Argento uses her in majority of his films, and there's just something about she like the Italian Jamie Lee Curtis. Like that's how I look at her. But in certain frames, she kind of has like that Jamie Lee look. But there's just something about like she is just the Italian scream queen as far as I'm concerned. She really is, and because there's such a when she is presented with something terrifying on screen, man, she sells it so good, so well, especially in this film. And this one again, we have Peter Neal. He's the author. He's going, to Rome, and all of a sudden, murders start happening. And the killer is using pages of the book Tenebrae as his template, basically, for murdering people. The police see that this guy is following certain things that happen in that book when he is murdering, these people. And the murders, they're, again, they're typical giallo. We have, a lot of throat slashing going on. We didn't have any eye kills. Nothing going on with the eyes, which I'm fine with that. I don't mind it, but I kind of like want to stray away from that if I can. That's like one of my pet peeves. But again, they're done so well. There's one scene where this girl is just getting this blade like into her neck, but the special effect is so well done. It's incredible. It really, really is. Especially from a film from '82. It looks so real. And again, like this film again presents characters that could all wind up being the killer. And this film has a really, really good twist at the end that I'm not going to get into because I don't want to spoil it. Because Tenebrae is definitely worth checking out. But as we follow, Neil working with the police, trying to figure out who the killer is, who is going around murdering people, you know, that seems to be an Argento thing where you always have like this author or somebody who's not like, a policeman, wind up working, trying to solve the mystery or trying to see who the killer is. And that's just, I really enjoy. And, and throughout, I like it again, it really kept me second guessing. We have a whole kind of like secondary story being told with the John Saxon character and a woman who's involved with Neil. And we also have, like I said, Daria Nicolodi thrown into this mix. So it's like there's a lot of moving parts of this one, and there's more than one thing going on. That again, it's like more than one story within this film that all kind of like all ties together, at the end, which I really enjoyed it. At the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, okay, let me see where we're gonna go, because first 10-15 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm into this. We get a kill, and I want to see where this is gonna go from there. But there's a little bit of downtime, but then it picks up. And once it picks up, once Neil gets to Rome and things pick up and the kills really start piling up, that's when I'm okay. I'm like I'm actually like on the edge of my couch here, like, okay, I want to see this now because I'm guessing, guys. I'm not good at solving these mystery movies. I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm like, okay, this person's the killer. Nope, this person's the killer. Nope, oh, I was completely wrong about this one too. But yeah, and I really enjoyed it, and the ending was just jaw dropping. I'm like, oh my gosh, and again, even up to the very last second, I could not figure out where they were going to go with this one. This is really great writing in this film, and it doesn't hurt that Synapse did an incredible job with the 4K transfer for this film. It looks beautiful. It looks beautiful, and the music. There's that techno kind of like sound to this film that again is more used with Argento's earlier films, and it's loud and it's blaring, and when the kills are happening, it ramps everything up to a whole nother level. These gruesome murders that are happening, but this like crazy music that's going on too, that's just, it's something to behold. I've seen other giallos, but Argento is just a whole nother thing. It's just a whole nother level that I can't. It's crazy. It's crazy how he's able to just capture everything with the music, the kills, the acting, everything. The cinematography is just for a majority of Argento films that I've seen, it's absolute perfection. And Tenebrae is right up there with Bird with the Crystal Plumage as far as his giallos go, as his top work for me. And there's some other ones that I have not seen yet, like Opera. Haven't seen Opera. Heard good things about it. Have not seen that one, but that might be one to tackle on the channel at some point. But Tenebrae, freaking awesome, guys. Great, great entry in the Argento catalog. So, guys, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I will catch you in another episode. Take care.